go to Toms River, New Jersey. What do you have to say this morning?
Yes, good morning. Just don't cut me off right away, please. It seems that the main gripe is that against the Times is that, according to you, sir, from the Journal, there is that we're at war, and during times of war, whether it be asymmetrical, like you say, an asymmetrical war, because it's a different type of war, the Times should not have released this information. But could you explain to me, sir? There's Muslims in just about every country of the world. Some nations are Islamic-based nations, and the majority of the people are Muslims. But there are Muslims in every corner of the earth. Could you explain to me, sir, who exactly is America warring against at this time?
Let's go one more, and then we'll come to you, Bret Stephens. This time we go to, I think it's Roanoke, Virginia.
Oh, hello. I'm two questions to ask the editor. And the first one, the gentleman from Ohio had asked about the lack of coverage of the brutal murders of the two PFCs. And there was just one tiny article in the Roanoke Times about it inside the paper. On the headlines, they played up what's happening in the Supreme Court about Guantanamo Bay. I'd like to know what he thinks the reason the PFCs haven't been given coverage. That was a horrible incident.
All right, thanks. I thought she was finished. You can see where everybody's coming from this morning. Any of those, just grab those thoughts and comment on them.
Well, let me, I guess, take them in reverse order. About Private Menchaca and his comrade, we editorialized about it. We had a lead editorial about exactly their deaths and what it signifies, both as a tribute to those soldiers and to give some thought, some real consideration to the kind of enemy that the United States and its allies face with the jihadi insurgents. These are people who fall well outside of any civilized norm. I think we've witnessed for a long time. Maybe they're comparable to the people who perpetrated the massacres in Rwanda, but certainly at their level, and they give, I would say, they give the Nazis a run for their money in terms of sheer barbarity. But I don't know. The lady from Roanoke mentioned the coverage in her paper, but as I said, we covered it extensively, and I believe that it was also covered fairly extensively in a lot of the big newspapers, all the way from the initial their kidnapping, their gruesome murders, and then their return home. Your second caller, I think from New Jersey, asked who is it we're warring against, and I think that in a sense my first answer, my first response provides the answer. We're warring against a brand of militant Islamic fundamentalists who are engaged in various arenas in acts of terror against the United States and against other countries. I don't know how many times people like Tony Blair or George Bush have to say we are not at war with Muslims for the message to get through that this is not a has never been conceived or waged as a war against Muslims. On the quite the contrary, I would say that it is a war being waged on behalf of Muslims, that is to say on behalf of Muslims who want to live in free and relatively moderate societies in places like Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, and elsewhere in the Middle East. But it seems amazing to me that even now people seem to think that the message is that this is a war against Islam generally, or against Muslims as a people.